you can tell me how much y'all thoroughly enjoyed and loved this playlist. You can go ahead and start now. Any moment now.
Kenny boy, I'll let you start because I think
you're the guest.
We both got thoughts, but it seems like you're ready to go.
Just what the fuck, man? Like really?
Like it's good, but I hate it at the same time. I don't know why I'm feeling this way.
Welcome to the weird side.
Welcome to After Playlist, the music playlist discussion and reaction podcast. I am one of your hosts, Brandon Lee.
And I am Terry Yo. And guess what? We love music and we love talking about it. But today it's going to get a little weird. So this week, I decided to treat two of my best bros, and you guys, the listeners, of course, to a playlist of my favorite, quote unquote, weird songs. I have a myriad of genres and strange sounds to talk about today, along with, just the personal choices and life-changing decisions that I made by making this playlist. So they say one man's trash is another man's treasure, and we're going to put that to the test today.
Yep.
And, see if it applies to my music taste too. And here to help discuss these songs politely and courteously is our longtime recurring guest host, DJ Kenny Boy. Welcome back to the show, ho.
Whoop, whoop. What's up? Welcome to you guys, because your great one has came back to the building.
We got to do a better job of security, bro.
Okay,
I don't know how he keep getting in this building.
Get some locks changed.
Look,
our security guard.
I'm here to sprinkle a little flavor in here, okay? I have to say something about your so-called treat. That you're giving us is torture.
No, it was not.
From what I've heard.
No, it was a treat, and people love it.
We're asking for all the listeners to pledge $5 each so we can get him some psychological help
and for counseling. The mental damages that me and Kenny Boy have had to withstand the past couple of weeks.
Oh, no, not at all. It was only a few songs, guys.
Well. Speaking of a few songs, let me just go ahead and run through the list of those not so few songs that we're going to be talking about today, because it's more than a few. So yeah, let me just run through that list just so everyone's aware of the playlist. Starting at the top, we have Weird by KAYTRANADA featuring Durand, Bernarr. We At It Again by Timbaland and Magoo featuring Sebastian and Static Major. Transformer by Gnarls, Barkley. R.P.M. by Ludacris featuring Twista and Shawnna. You Got What I Want by Snoop Dogg featuring Goldie, Ludacris, and Uncle Charlie Wilson. It Wasn't Us by Ludacris featuring I-20. Get Ugly by Jason Derulo. Pray For Me by The Weeknd and Kendrick Lamar. How Long by Tom Morello, Steve Aoki, and Tim McIlrath. Mayday, Fiesta Fever by AWOLNATION featuring Alex Ebert. Take a Look Around by Limp Bizkit featuring E40 and 8Ball. Places to Be by Fred Again, Anderson .Paak, and CHIKA. Satellite by 9 Inch Nails. Break Ya Back by Timbaland featuring Dev. Reptilian by G-Space, Wreckno, and Oddpoison. Remain Nameless by Florence and the Machine. Top of the World by Kimbra. Rollin' M7s by N.E.R.D and Andre 3000. Buggin' by Teen Titans Go featuring David Gemmell.
I'm sorry.
No, it's understandable. That's an appropriate place to chuckle, in all honesty.
What you mean?
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll get to that one.
Then 2 by BB No Money. Dubstep for Kids by On Hell. Bubba Talk by Bubba Sparks. You Got Jokes by Contrast. Big Beast by Killer Mike featuring Bun B, T.I., and Trouble in Trouble. Innocence by Bjork. Diamond Dogs by Beck. Nothing Can Save Ya, Bobby Womack featuring Fatoumata. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And Hellbent by Kenna to round it off. So if you haven't listened to any of the songs that I just said and that we're about to discuss, go check out the show notes for direct links. It's in the description for the video or the episode that you're listening to. And yeah, they're great songs, so you'll like them.
Yes, exactly. They are great songs, every last one of them. And before we I said every last one of them.
We'll get into it.
And before we dive into the episode, we have our after playlist disclaimers. Number one, we respect everyone's opinion, especially mine, regardless of how right and wonderful it may be.
Wrong and awful.
Wrong.
Okay.
Wrong and awful.
We respect everyone's opinion, regardless of how wrong or awful it may be. Number two, we're going to get a little weird today. It doesn't mean that kind of weird. This is a lighthearted, wholesome weird. So all y'all true freaks, just take a look in the mirror, come back, calm down, and listen. It's gonna be okay.
Yes.
And number three, we're just talking about the music, not the person who created the list. But we're just talking about the music.
No,
we're talking about the one that created the list. This is directly at him.
Curators, real life, personal, and cancelable issues. 100%. We're discussing that today.
Yes.
And lastly, if you're enjoying the podcast, please be sure to give us a like and subscribe to the podcast on Apple Music Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever it is that you get your podcasts. We're pretty much everywhere. It's the easiest way to share and support the show. Also, it's free, so that's nice. And yeah, without further ado, let's get weird.
Okay, now, since we're going to get weird, let me try to explain myself a little bit.
Please.
Nope. We're going to hold that to the end.
No.
You can explain yourself at the end because we're going to start off with Innocence. Let's go straight in with the song Innocence.
Look, I am innocent. Let me at least allow me to explain the cluster and the groups of the songs on the playlist, mainly for the audience so they could understand how the playlist was somewhat structured. So I didn't do this on purpose, but in listening back to the playlist, I realized I inadvertently kind of clustered my different flavors of weird in groups. So I will say like the first 8 songs on the playlist were pretty much just primarily about the weird sounds. I just like weird sounds of music. Then songs 9 through 12 or so, it kind of focuses on like weird collaborations and weird combinations of like genres kind of blending together. Then I grouped together a weird collection of songs that are like bass heavy and EDM electronic sound. Then I have my goofy section, and then I have and then I cap it off with weird and passionate. That's kind of the way I like to call it. So please, take your time. We have, about 30, 45 minutes or so. You can tell me how much y'all thoroughly enjoyed and love this playlist. You can go ahead and start now. Anyone now.
Kenny boy, I'll let you start because
you're the guest.
We both got thoughts, but it seems like you're ready to go.
Now I was told we were going to be able to play a sample of that. Can you play the sample of Innocence, please? Innocence really struck out to me because being that I've known Terrio for so long, innocence ain't the word I would ever use for him.
I actually also really wanted to discuss this song, so I'm kind of okay to start the discussion here with this because it also definitely fits with your weird and passionate is not necessarily the words I would use to describe Innocence by Bjork, but it is somewhat fitting.
Okay.
I just want to say I've heard a handful of songs by Bjork. I don't know her extensively, but I have not heard a single song by her that I didn't go, "Oh, it's weird as all hell." And this was a new song to me, but it definitely keeps that trend going.
When I first read the title, the song Innocence made me think that we're going to go a different direction. And when the song first turned on, all the weird noises made me want to gash my eardrums out. But then as I fought myself to listen to it more, I kind of saw the groove in the beat. And it's like, okay, this is not that bad. But then like 45 seconds into it, I wanted to shoot myself again. So I definitely see where you're going with the passion, weird flow. All in all, the song is not a bad song. It's really not. But to me, like the innocence in which you had to actually get past all the weird stuff going on in the song to listen to what she's saying. And then that's where it kind of makes sense more. But to me, is all that weird stuff in the background was just like too much for me. But the song, honestly, when I listen to it again, hell no. But it's not a bad song. It's really not.
Okay,
I
just want to say
on that one.
I just had to like metaphorically throw my hands in the air as because Terrio has his screen up. We just listened to a small sample of the song, and he scrolled down a little bit, and of course I see on the producer tag, who else but Timbaland?
Yep.
Was like I should have known with a weird out there beat track like this one.
I shouldn't. If
it's from Terrio, of course Timbaland was the one who was in the producer's booth for it, because
why not?
Who else would be on this track? That is one of Terrio's favorite quote unquote weird songs, but Timbaland. Like just
Yep, that's it.
I don't know if you sought that out because, or if that's just literally a happy coincidence and it just totally fits your.
I actually sought it out. So what happened was I knew about Bjork, and a friend of mine at the time played a song by her called "I Play Dead." I think is what it's called. So I heard the name, but I never heard the music. So then I heard the song "I Play Dead." I was like, "This is weird as fuck."
Yeah,
but I kind of like it because like that song is
very unique.
It's unique and it's very symphonic. But the way Bjork sings and screams and yells is like weird. it's super passionate and like almost like tribal, like it kind of feel like a battle cry. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, so I kind of can dig this song. It's not
battle cry to what?
that is the question.
I mean, to each their own. I don't know, but your eardrums, I guess. But so then when I heard that Timbaland collaborated with her on this album, I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of interesting. So there's two songs that I was choosing between. It was either this one or Earth Intruders. Earth Intruders was the one that was the single, and that one kind of had. It still was weird as hell, but it had a more recognizable groove. This one was the other song that I was just like, even I didn't even play that song this much. I was like, this song is weird as hell. And I was like, oh, if I'm going to treat my homies to my music taste, I had to throw this one in there.
Wow. I see why you did that, because that one was definitely an eye opener, because it led me in different directions, and none was a positive direction.
You're welcome.
Okay, I want to take a step back, because you said like where for that last passionate and weird section. Where does that start on the playlist? Does that start with You Got Jokes?
No, after that one. So that starts around around Big Beast. So yeah, so from Big Beast all the way to the end.
Okay, so taking a step back from looking at specific songs to just looking at the whole playlist. Mm-hmm. My initial listen through this playlist for like the first, I don't know, 80-85%, literally until about that last little section, that last grouping of songs, I literally was like questioning my own music taste and my own music history, because for pretty much all of them, I was like, these aren't really that weird.
Mm-mm. Yeah,
these are just they have some unique little, cool little beats, or some cool, like, something else instrumental or something they might have, or some kind of weird singing that's done or something. They all had like some weird, quote unquote, weird, unique things, but none of them were songs that if I was just listening, I wouldn't think like, oh, this is weird. I don't think anyone would like this. I would just think like, oh, that's unique. And a lot of them were songs, especially songs that like I hadn't heard before, that I could definitely see myself. They would be songs that if I heard for the first time and like weren't on this playlist, they were just out on, just out in the internet or whatever. There'd be songs that'd be like, oh, this is really cool and unique. I need to share this song with somebody. Mm-hmm. So it was definitely like kind of an eye opener for me, just to my perspective on what's a weird song. I don't think I could have made this playlist just because what's weird to me is just hard to, I guess, like gauge in a sense.
Yeah. For me, it's hard for me to say that when I listened to it that I thought it was weird. Now, I don't know if it's because I've been around Terrio for so long and we always preach open-mindedness.
Yeah, that could be part of it too.
Open-mindedness, right? And being that as a DJ, I have to open my mind to versatility, being able to jump from genre to genre and listen to other things, right? None of that was like, I just didn't get well, that's weird. Some of it was like, okay, strange, but I guess the biggest thing I kept noticing that very creative. Like every song coming through, it's just a creative thing, and that does speak to who Terrio is. He's very creative.
There are a lot of songs. You're right. They're trying something different and out of the box, and I love to see it. I think we all kind of share that same sentiment of keeping an open mind musically and enjoying music from pretty much any genre if it's doing something unique and like just cool sounding.
Yeah. So when it comes to my taste of like,
no one cares.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening. This has been a wonderful episode.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
Black Giraffe made this. No, just like no. So the reason I picked this crop of songs. First of all, it was very hard to narrow down. Believe it or not, I actually cut like 10 songs off of this. So I know it's kind of heavy, but I mean, we've had longer playlists. But anyway, I digress. For me, I like songs that stand out from other songs. So to me, if this playlist was mixed in with another playlist on shuffle, all these songs would stand out from other songs that are like mainstream. Have a standard sound. It's not cookie cutter. It's not formulaic. They catch your attention. And then for the ones that this is definitely a production first playlist.
Oh yeah.
And then once I get hooked with the production, the fact that some of these artists can ride these beats as hard as they do and keep it on point, I love it. And the Ludacris cluster, that was an accident. I didn't realize I did that until after.
I was wondering if that was intentional or not.
It wasn't. The
whole time.
Yeah, I was like, dang, I got 3 Ludacris songs back to back. But like, that's what made Ludacris to me an excellent rapper. Number one, for being from the South, I love that. That was an automatic bias. And then secondly, the fact being that almost any song that Ludacris has featured on when he was coming up, any kind of weird sound, any kind of weird beat, he would get on it and body it and destroy it. Same thing with Twista. To
the point where it's, I don't know, to me it's almost weirder if Ludacris isn't on like a unorthodox, so to say, beat. Like it's almost like that's his normal, is to be on like a weird kind of unique sounding beat, right?
I agree, and I think that's also what kind of pigeonholed him early on as well, because he was known as the guy with like the weird beats and doing over the top, cartoon kind of videos. But then, people didn't like pay attention to the fact that he was actually lyrical with his stuff. They just kind of pigeonholed him into that. So early on in his career, I felt that kind of held him back. But just overall, like, I mean, in general, like all of these songs, like they just, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's my ADHD brain or whatever, but it's just all the variety of sounds and stuff happening from here and there. Like it just gives you a lot to enjoy. It's not like a little skippy plate. It's like a whole buffet of like music on each track, and I love that. I agree to some extent.
Yeah, me too. To a much smaller extent.
Okay. A greater extent. That's what I heard. We was breaking up. So let me ask y'all this: out of the playlist, did you have any songs that were, other than Innocence, what song did you hear was like, okay, immediately, what the fuck?
Okay. Let me pull up the playlist again.
Okay, don't hate me for this.
We're gonna hate you. Go ahead.
We At It Again.
What?
By Timbaland and Magoo. Just again, I think I said this way back on like our very first episode. Just not having grown up with Magoo, it's hard for me to enjoy him as a rapper. And then this song is somewhat repetitive, like lyrically. The beat definitely drew me in at first, but it feels like they just say, we at it again at the coffee shop, at the candy shop, whatever shops they're all at in the song. And then they're just there at those shops for the next 3 minutes, it seems like. Just over and over again.
Yeah.
So that was one for me that I, after listening to it repeatedly in particular, I think kind of started wearing off, so to speak, for me.
Yeah. And that's part of the reason why I put it on here, because to me, I feel like that song is one of their best songs as a group, but it was featured on a movie soundtrack and it really didn't get the push that it deserved. There was a video for it. I was going to play it or send it to y'all, but I was like, I think I tortured y'all enough. So there's actually, the video version is actually different than the actual song. The video version, it switches to a rock thing at the end of it.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And it's
interesting.
It's interesting because it's a synthetic rock. It's not a real rock. So you can hear Timbaland was trying to go for a rock vibe using a synthesizer, and it partially worked, but then it just kind of just was like, if you would have got real guitars, it would have been better. But
it almost always is, in my opinion. But
yeah. So
I'm probably biasing that. But yeah, this is just, I don't know. It's one of those very rare examples of a song where I wish it was shorter. Usually it's the opposite.
Damn.
If it was like 3.5 minutes, I think it would be perfect.
Oh man, see, I grew up on that, so I have to disagree with you on that one.
Yeah.
We added again. To me, still it's a classic. It's something to ride to. You know, it's not. Trust me, it's not one of those bangers where you at a party or at a club or something. Someone wants to hear that. But like you riding and for a good change of pace, that's a great change of pace song or a way to kind of either start to go up tempo. Take it one step up tempo. It's like a building song. That's the way I would put it. But the song that got me was, and I can't figure out for the life of me why it's even on the playlist, is Buggin'. The Buggin' Teen Titans Go. Okay, why?
I told you we'd get back to it.
Yeah.
Why? Because this shit go hard as fuck. What you mean?
I mean, of all the songs, it's not like the song is the song is not like it was just that weird it threw me off. It's just that the song itself, why was it there? Like, what are we doing with this? Like,
it's a good song. Like, to the song, like, why does the song exist?
No, not why the song. It's just like the playlist, kind of like I told you. Look, I thought the playlist was like very creative, a different flow, different thing, and then all of a sudden, Teen Titans Go pop up. Like, what are we doing here? It's almost like them weird. Okay, so Brandy Lee, you don't know about this, but your boy Terry O used to do mix CDs for people. Or
I know about
tapes.
mix CDs. I'm not that young.
No,
I know you don't buy it, but he did them.
Yeah, so I was making my own mix CDs.
So if he made one for you, there would be a random thing that popped up out of nowhere.
He's told me about this before.
Yes.
He's told me about pranks he's done to you specifically, I believe, actually.
Yes.
In regards to this.
There was a particular skit from the group Locks that was on a mixtape that he made me, that the mixtape was jamming. We played it at work when I worked at Pizza Hut.
He's told me the story, actually.
All of a sudden I hear some noises and some rather provocative language coming out from the entire staff. Stopped what they're doing to wonder where that was coming from. I was also banned from playing mixtapes at the restaurant again because of him.
Yeah, it checks out.
Yeah.
When that came out, it gave me those vibes all over again.
Because it was something random that just popped up on the playlist?
Right. Yeah, it was random. I'm like, because I'm trying to open my mind up as well, because I use these things to kind of help me open my mind up. And then all of a sudden that popped up and I just wanted to drive to wherever he was at and punch him because it was just such a random song. It didn't make no sense to me. So since we brought it up, let's play it. Let's play a little snippet of it.
Oh, even one better. I want y'all to watch the music video for it.
There's a music video for it?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I will say this is one of the few songs like before that grouping at the end that just made me go, what the hell is this? Like I literally stopped and like looked at who, like, actually like opened up my phone to see what the song was, whatever. And then again was like, what? Kind of like DJ Kennedy sounds like Teen Titans Go. What?
Okay, so before I get into the video, let me give everybody in the audience some context. So Teen Titans Go is a cartoon series on Cartoon Network, and every now and then, I guess, I don't know why or what they decided to do, they'll do like a sing-along episode and they'll make original songs. The thing is, though, this is a recent show, and then Teen Titans Go or Cartoon Network is based here in Atlanta, so they would do songs and they will be full R&B, like full R&B, full pop, full on production, and they just go in on it. So there's like a whole nother song where like what's the name, Beast Boy is like trying to holler at Raven, and it's a full ass R&B song, and like the dude was singing and hitting high notes and everything. I'm like, damn, why does it sound so good? So then I stumbled across this song, Straight Buggin', and you just gotta watch it. I'll let y'all watch it and y'all see it for yourself. So it's literally a bug rapping.
That's both somehow exactly what I thought it would be, and I don't, for better or worse, so much more than I thought it would be.
Yeah, I'm at a standstill here because parts of me is like, just what the fuck, man? Like, really? I'm torn because lyrically it was impressive, right? Mm-hmm. The flow, the lyrical content, the beat was riding, The video matched up with it. It was kind of cool, but again, what the fuck? Because like the playlist, man, it just...
I was just like, your point stands, because literally any other song on the playlist coming before this one is going to have a similar effect.
Yeah. It doesn't really matter. I mean, look, so I used this song as part of a segue, number one, to get into the goofier songs. And
it definitely worked for that.
Yeah. If you did that on purpose, okay.
Yeah. That was my intention with it. I mean, Teen Titans Go is polarizing in general because people like the original Teen Titans that's more grittier and more action based. And Teen Titans Go is in fact more kiddie and more childish for sure.
Yeah.
What that says about me, I'll let y'all decide that. But I happened to catch it when I was, kicking with my niece and nephews and stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of okay.
Well, I guess silver lining is, maybe a kid hears that and gets inspired and wants to go on to make their own music, make their own rap or R&B or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a positive out of all this.
You're definitely reaching.
Like, it's good, but I hate it at the same time. I don't know why I'm feeling this way.
You're struggling with it yourself. Like, part of you is like, okay, that was hard, but obviously this is a cartoon for kids. Why do you like this? This is like me listening to Gracie's Corner. I'm not the audience, but that shit be going hard as fuck.
Oh yeah, Gracie's Corner go in, bro. You can't. Here's the thing: is the kid in you never dies.
That's true.
And I gotta, no Diddy with that one because you got to be careful with the words you say nowadays. But still, what your inner child never grows up, bro. I'm telling you.
What?
Okay, first of all, wrong reference. It wasn't a no Diddy. That was a no Drake thing. So that's
no.
Hey, you better watch out. No. We don't want to be sued over here.
That's true.
I just said that because of the weirdness that's going on in the world.
Facts.
But I feel you, Brandon Lee. You can't help but listen to it, kind of bob your head, like yeah. And then I love how they said, "Do you want me catching villains?" Because every time they think we go, yes. I think he's gonna say villains. He tricks me into it every time, and he says villains.
But see, okay, because of that line, I feel like whichever person in the studio or whatever that was writing this, like whenever they came up with that line, right? They this, oh man, patting themselves on the back. I'm such a genius for this. But then immediately, as soon as they get in with that, it's just big. Like it's both of those at the same time somehow.
Yes. Welcome to the weird side.
That's just creative lyrical wordplay. That's all that is.
Okay.
He had you going one direction, he turned another direction. He kept you doing that the whole song.
Fair enough. So, speaking of other weird songs on here, I know because I previewed this song for you a while back, Kitty Boy, and I know this is your personal favorite. Dubstep for Kids by On Hill.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about that one too.
Yep. I laugh. That's why I laugh when that's one of the ones I laughed about when I heard.
Go ahead, Brandon. What's on your mind?
I mean, the title of the song, right? Fits like they had a mission. Mm-hmm. They stayed on point.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like to a fairly large degree. This is, the title is Dubstep for Kids. Mm-hmm. This does sound like Dubstep for Kids. It's introducing young ones to dubstep while also teaching them
the cow goes moo.
The cow goes moo.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
chicken goes cluck, cluck, cluck. Wah, 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 wah.
Yeah. I don't know what animal makes that sound, but.
And so immediately I had to follow that up with Bubble Talk to keep the animal trend going back to back.
Because of course.
I thought that was the case, but I wasn't sure. But now I'm glad I was right about that. I was
fairly sure that was the reasoning behind
100%. Yeah. Oh gosh. So Kitty Boy, you playing dubstep for kids at your next DJ event?
No. I think that to me, dubstep for kids sound like a child predator. Like you would just lure kids.
Why you gotta ruin my shit, yo?
and to lure kids with candy in the van. Because
that is not like, no. You are not taint my song, sir.
I'm going to taint it because I have children. Okay,
okay, that's fine. Look,
because
I
have kids. If I'm at a place and they're playing that and it's talking about a kid's song, I'm questioning why are you playing that? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, are there something sick?
It's benign. It's just saying the cow goes moo. It's not saying the cow gives you candy if you step in this van. Like,
exactly.
It gives me that vibe. It just gives me that vibe.
It's the dubstep. Dubstep is just naturally nitty and grittier as just a genre of music.
Exactly. And the problem is, Kingdom Boy, you too focus on trying to be a good dad. Be a statistic sometime and just let your kids just go into vans.
Be a statistic.
Yeah, just like, I mean, stop being a good dad all the time. You making everybody else look bad. You're being a jerk. You're being selfish. Stop trying to stop being there for your kids. Stop raising your kids all the time and just let them walk in the vans and walk out the house in the middle of the night. That's totally normal. I mean, I did it and look at me. I'm totally normal.
Check's playlist that we're talking about today.
Everybody got quiet. Nobody said anything. Nobody defended him at all.
Me and DJ Kingdom both just gave the hardest side eye.
Okay, well, at this point, I guess we might as well go ahead and jump into one of my personal favorite songs on this playlist. Pray for me, because clearly somebody needs to.
Okay, yeah.
I love that song ever since it came out from the Black Panther soundtrack. And it's the sounds and just something about the
yes. Can you play a sample? To me, this seemed like the most normal of the songs. Like just your typical normal song you put on and you just enjoy.
It was definitely
seemed that one to me.
I agree. It was definitely in several of these songs got put in like a just not weird category, and this was one of the ones at the top of that grouping.
So
yeah, overall, that one hard. I ain't gonna lie, that triggers emotions for me because Black Panther, the movie Black Panther itself meant so much for the black community because we really never had a black superhero other than Blank Man.
Correction, we had Meteor Man.
Meteor Man, but
none of them were to the level of Black Panther though. Whenever it came out, that was a phenomenon when that came out.
Right, and it just like it fits so well with the Black Panther movie, and like when you hear it, it just brings you that vibe. It was surprising that it made it on this list because it was just so. To me, it seemed normal considering how Terrio is and the way his big crazy head thinks.
Okay.
I just love whatever like effect they use on the drums. That like to me it almost gives it like a rubbery texture. I don't know how else to describe it.
100%.
But I love that. I love that so much.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that too. And again, it's not like drastically like pivoting, but there's no other song that we can point to that has these elements, these ingredients like that. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, you're right.
So
I can't think of one.
So this is like a time capsule of a song of an era when the whole Black Panther thing was, taking over the whole globe. Honestly, it's just something about that sound. I like the uniqueness of it all. So it sounds like that just really just it gets me because I like it being weird. Another one, jumping into another song real quick. You Got What I Want. Snoop Dogg, Goldie, Ludacris, and Uncle Charlie Wilson.
That's a good one too.
The fact being that Brandon, are you familiar with Charlie Wilson at all?
Vaguely.
Okay,
I've definitely heard it. I've heard a few songs where he like featured on, but I've not listened to any of his stuff just by himself. I don't think.
Okay, so I'll give you a quick history lesson. Charlie Wilson is one of the lead singers from the old school band called the Gap Band. He's been doing music for, I don't know, 40, 50 years at this point.
Yeah, probably.
So this is like a well-seasoned dude. And he's done, you ever heard the song, You Dropped the Bomb on Me, Baby? That also, You Dropped the Bomb on Me, Baby.
Or Outstanding. You probably should have Outstanding.
Girl, both of those, I think so. I think I've heard both of those, yeah.
I'm quite sure you might have heard it in the background at work at some point, like on one of those oldie stations. The fact being that you got this weird ass beat, and you got Charlie Wilson, a veteran R&B singer, on this track singing his ass off and riding that beat so hard. Pause. But the fact being that he got on that track and killed it, it's just like I just love that weird combination. It's like a weird beat, and then it's just good. It's like I was like we all know Snoop Dogg get on anything, literally any song. Yeah. So he was able to rap to it. You got Goldie Low, straight East Sider, I believe, West Coast. So you got the what's going on, got that whole sound, and then it's just such a good song. Like it's not weird, but it's definitely unique. So I guess I say the word weird loosely, except for the first track when we talk about the KAYTRANADA song. But just overall, I like the uniqueness of it because it's sonically and the passion with it being so different and I guess avant-garde. The fact being that everybody knew the assignment and committed 110% to make it what it was.
Well, I want to say we kind of already briefly touched on it, but it's that 3-song block of like Ludacris being in each of them is like arguably my favorite 3-song stretch on the playlist.
No argument here. I will go with that too.
Yeah, I mean everything you just said about You Got What I Want, I pretty much wholeheartedly agree with. Except for I think Ludacris is my favorite part.
Yeah,
of the song.
Yeah, he definitely stands out.
He kills it in R.P.M too. Twista and Shawnna do as well on the song right before that.
I mean, well, on R.P.M he's just on the chorus on that one technically. So it's actually Shawnna and Twista that pretty much do the whole. It's actually Shawnna's song, really, technically.
Well, they all kill it. Is my point, and specifically on R.P.M, the beat. Yes, like the beat brings, but which I think, like you already said it, but most of these are definitely production. So for pretty much the vast majority of these, the beat and or instrumentals or whatever it is are definitely the first unique draw for the song. But okay, so I say that because I wanted to get actually right past that 3-song block is I think arguably my favorite, Get Ugly. Oh, okay. By Jason Derulo.
Get ugly.
Get ugly. It's so hard but so fun to say that, to sing along to that part, dude.
I mean, like you can't, if you aren't shaking your ass or wiggling a little bit, you fucking dead inside when that song come on. It's so stupid. It is like,
it's stupid and
that's ugly.
It's kind of sort of like a good message. Like
it is like get ugly. Like fuck it. Like don't care what nobody else say.
Don't hold yourself to these like fake unattainable standards of these like models and whatnot. Just be yourself, get a little ugly, be human. Like it's such a good fun song, man.
Absolutely. That one, I think that would be the anthem for Cut Loose.
Exactly.
If you would quote unquote cut loose, because that's the first song I've heard in a long time that just says put everything aside, no matter what you look like, what you're doing, or how terrible it looks, just get ugly.
On the dance floor.
And then that put everybody, because there's a lot of people who without rhythm, but they love dancing. Put them out there and then have fun.
Yep.
Definitely that.
You said it's been a long time, Kenny Boy. It's been a long time since I've listened to Jason Derulo and actually enjoyed it. So that was nice.
Damn. Bars. Jesus.
That was a nice treat for me that actually enjoyed Jason Derulo for a second.
Jesus Christ, man. Who hurt you?
This playlist.
Jason Derulo, aren't you listening?
Jason Derulo hurt you.
Where did he go wrong?
Every time I had to hear Jason Derulo at the beginning of a song that was played 1,000 million times in high school.
That's so true.
I get you. There's a lot of songs right now that won't stop playing that I can't stand.
Well,
that's always the case.
I mean, well, now they changed it up from Jason Derulo to Glorilla. So now
mustard on the beat. How?
Yep.
Nah.
Stuff like that.
To me, it's Sexy Red. I can't take it. I can't take it. I can't because look, I think everybody is entitled to their own thing. And I think each artist brings his or her own twist to it. But like I said, for me, Sexy Red always sounds monotone. There's no voice inflection. She's not being creative in her voice, in her verses. It just always sounds the same. It's like every song.
Well, I mean, I beg to differ. We'll talk about that later, but you haven't heard her sing yet, so.
I have.
I somewhat agree with you, Kenny Boy, but I will just say that luckily she's not featured on this playlist today. So we didn't have to listen to her for this.
Yeah, definitely not on this one. Where do I want to go to next? Oh, What about Gnarls Barkley Transformer? What y'all think of that one?
That was another favorite of mine, which I love Gnarls Barkley. I know that's who did CeeLo hook up with to make Gnarls Barkley?
Danger Mouse.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Yeah. That's, I mean, you can't get Gnarls Barkley is they're great.
Yeah,
I don't know if they have if they do have a song that's like not good, it's got to be so few and far between. Everything I've heard by them, so
to me they set the stands for what's it, Silk Sonic.
Yeah.
To me, that if there wasn't Gnarls Barkley, we wouldn't have the Silk Sonic, because what Gnarls Barkley did, I don't think there's a song that they did that is not good. To me,
I agree.
At least to me.
Yeah.
At least to me. To me is the way they blended the styles. CeeLo, of course, does what CeeLo does best.
Yeah.
Sang his ass
every
off.
time.
Yeah. Classic, man. That's the song I want to salute you for.
Okay.
Look, I've got in fights with ex-girlfriends because they didn't like the song Crazy by Gnarls Barkley. And I'm like, look, I know it gets overplayed, but if you don't sing along to the song with me, we can't be in the car together. That's just all there is to it.
And that's why there was so many bitches walking on the street because of Brandon.
Yep. None of them wanted to sing along, man. You got to do what you got to do. And, looping it back around, Transformer, I had not heard the song, I don't think. Or if I had, I'd not I just heard it in passing or something. But until this playlist, it's definitely up there as well. Like, this is a song, if you are not willing to sing along to CeeLo on this track with me, then get out.
That's it. I mean, the bus stop is right up the street. I'm just saying.
There you go.
All right, well, ladies, if you're listening, 2 things Brandon Lee don't like: Jason Derulo, or if you want to sing to Gnarls Barkley, Crazy. You got to get out.
Look, I'm a simple man. Can't follow those 2 easy rules, and I don't know what to tell you.
Exactly. Also, ladies, Brandon Lee is also allegedly known for breaking your back. What you think about that song?
Wait, good transition. Good transition.
Yes. Good transition using that true fact about me to segue into this next song.
God damn it.
Very smart, Terry. I mean, Dev, let's talk about the actual song. I think Dev kills it. Again, metaphorically throwing my arms up because it's another Timbaland song to the surprise of no one.
Exactly. So, spoiler alert, there's actually more Timbaland on here than you think.
It's like, okay, that's a spoiler, but like to the surprise of no one.
Yeah.
Literally that. But there's more Timbaland on here than you may actually think.
Question, how many Timbaland tracks are on here or Timbaland influence or Timbaland having a part of it?
Better question. How many Timbaland influenced, produced, or performed tracks percentage-wise do you think he's picked as his picks total for the podcast? Because it's got to be a high amount.
I mean, it's a high amount, but to be fair, I have shied away from a lot of my Timbaland picks because I want to, obviously broaden horizons, my music taste and not be super biased. But this is, my weird playlist, and Timbaland is a weird producer. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to lean into it.
To be fair to you, like the Innocence by Bjork, he does produce songs that, like, I think most people would be like, that's Timbaland? For real?
Yeah. So another one, speaking of Innocence, Diamond Dogs. That was a Timbaland and Beck collaboration.
Okay. I did like that one.
I did not know that.
Yep. So Timbaland produced that track. And that song is actually a remake. I didn't know that until later in life. But yeah, that's actually a remake of a song done by David Bowie.
Oh, okay.
So and Beck got on there and did what Beck does.
I fall more in love with Beck every new song by him. I still keep meaning to go back and like really to do a kind of a deep dive on him, just like in my own personal free time. But this was a new song to me, and it was again just another banger, another vibe, another knockout by Beck.
Yep. So that's another Timbaland hidden one. Another one which you probably should realize right out the gate, but Take a Look Around, Limp Bizkit featuring A-Ball and E40. That was a Timbaland remix of that. So for me, weird collaboration. Who would ever thought Limp Bizkit, 8-Ball, and E40 would be on the same show? done with the Timbaland beat.
Yeah, I don't know. See, I didn't think that way because remember Limp Bizkit was it with Method Man and Redman? Yeah. So like to me, it's like once they crossed into that, they just kind of progress.
Yeah, I agree.
So I guess it never caught me off guard, or as I just looked at the 3 artists collaborating together. So I guess I missed the
Well, I guess for me, it's just a combination of A-Ball and E40. Like to me, that was kind of a weird. Of all the artists to choose to put on that type of record, for I guess I'm not sure if the label or Timbaland or Limp Bizkit specifically wanted these two guys on there, for them to get on this track and like kill it like they did, and considering that it's a rock influence kind of track, to hear E40, go blah, 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 and then hear 8-Ball kill it, because 8-Ball is a lyricist,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, on the Timbaland track, it's not nothing, not to say that it's a bad combination. It's just something that you wouldn't inherently like think of right out the gate. Same thing with Fred again and Anderson .Paak and CHIKA. Like obviously I'm a fan of CHIKA. I was like, okay, well, CHIKA's gonna go in, and then no, she just did the chorus, but it fit perfectly. And then Anderson .Paak goes through and does what he did, and then Fred again with the beat killed it. So I mean, to me, again, it's repetitive, but it's just a good feel good kind of record. Just bounce and go to it, for me at least.
One thing that I thought about, or that they kept popping up in my head while listening to Take a Look Around, is what is it about like this era, like that? Because that's like late 90s, early 2000s, right? Mm-hmm. Ish, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
It seems like most rock, hip hop artist mashups is. I guess maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm just not thinking of any good examples, so correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I can think of, pretty much all of them are more like, for the rock band half of those mashups, it's usually more like an alternative. Yeah. It wasn't just like a more mainstream standard rock sounding band. It's almost always like a Korn or a Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
This is something interesting that kept popping up in my head. I've thought about why that was for that era, why the more alternative rock sounds was the one that was like mashed up.
I think those groups tend to be more
receptive.
Out of the box, maybe.
I think they've been more open to collaborations like that because they go so well together, because they're so anti. It seems like they're pushing their limits.
Yeah, they're going against the molds to some extent. Yeah,
and I think it fits well in the 90s hip hop, because I think that's when hip hop was really making its rise. So it was really breaking down barriers, and then those two collaborating together made sense. Because right now we've got country and hip hop. So
that does make a lot of sense.
Country and hip hop.
But looking at it from like where societally those sounds are coming out of and what was going around culturally, it definitely makes a lot more sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of anti-establishment stuff.
Yeah, anti-establishment, record label, mass-produced sounds and stuff. Trying to, like you say, people kind of push the envelope. So that makes sense. That's just something that thought's been kicking around in my head like the last week.
Mm-hmm. Another good collaboration on the playlist, How Long with Tom Morello, Steve Aoki. You
had sent me that one a while back before you finalized this playlist, and I have loved that ever since then, because you got Tom Morello's classic guitar wah sound. You got Steve Aoki coming in with like his dope steppy electronic EDM on top of that, and of course Tim McIlrath. Rise Against is like famous the world over, so obviously he's super talented. He comes in and singing / screaming his heart out. So that's another great mashup for sure.
Yeah.
I think it was a great collaborations because it blended so well together. To me, it made me forget certain elements. Like I almost thought for a second that it was just a group, not just three individuals coming together, because it just seemed like they've been working together for a while, or they just got great chemistry.
Yeah.
The blending of Tom Morello's top level guitar with Steve Aoki's dubstep isms, for like a better word. It's pretty nice to hear.
Yeah,
you don't get a ton of like heavy guitar like that with dubstep.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I was definitely, I would have to say this too, because the more we get into it, I was thinking about this as I listened to the playlist, because I was pretty sure you were going to push the envelope really, really far with your selections. But it seemed like you actually either tamed it a little bit for us, or you have ruined my mind, because like
I think it's really a little column A and a lot of column B.
Because I was impressed, and be honest with you, I was definitely impressed with the selection, the playlist, even a song that kind of like, what the hell, I still liked it. So I think that I really have to say that this playlist to me seemed like, instead of weird, is creative. It's creative music at its best, what music was originally supposed to be to me.
I agree.
A bunch of different artists coming together and making good music. Because you know how typically you will hear features where, and you can always tell, where one artist records it in their home studio or in their studio in their area, then send it to the other artist. So they do their part, and then one engineer puts them all together. Mm-hmm. And then you hear the song, and it seemed like there's no collaboration and energy from these two or the individuals in play. Every song where you had a collaboration you picked, you can definitely tell that there was actually collaboration, like they were in the same area. Now, we could be wrong. I could be wrong on that one. Mm-hmm. But like, it really felt like they were in the studio collaborating, building the beat, and then laying the vocals and putting the whole song together. It just felt like that to me.
Yeah, I agree. And like, one of the songs that really felt like that way, again, I don't know how the song was made, if they were in the same studio or not, or if they were remote or whatever, but Rolling Them Sevens. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That whole vibe of that whole song, mad like ethnic right now. It's a whole vibe. And then Andre just gets on there, which I was just listening to it, and then I was just like, oh shit, Andre 3000. Like, I was like,
random 3 Stack shows up, blows you away, leaves. Yep.
It gets on there and like bodies the whole verse or whatever. I'm just like, that was crazy. So I am curious about a couple songs, and then I'll let y'all give the final thoughts. What are your thoughts on the two I had back to back? Remain Nameless by Florence and the Machine and Top of the World by Kimbra.
Top of the World is one of my jammers right now. Okay. I promise you, I've listened to that like 9 times.
It's really good. It was actually, so you had sent just a little bit before we hopped on to record this, you sent a version of that song with Snoop Dogg on it. And it was funny because I was literally listening to the original. I was like a minute and a half into the original, jamming out to it whenever I got that text. And I was like, I'll listen to it after I finish. So I finished listening to the original. I got the whole original, then immediately listened to the Snoop Dogg version.
That's funny.
I love both of those. Of course, we've had Florence and the Machine a handful of times on previous episodes. She's just outstanding. She's a stellar, amazing singer.
I just love her voice and how ethereal or ethereal.
It's hauntingly beautiful, man. Like
yes.
The tone of her voice makes you feel things, just not even like hearing what the words are, just the tone alone. So anytime we get Florence plus the Machine, I'm almost always enjoying it.
Yeah. Kimbra, for people who don't know, she blew up when she was the guest on Gaultier's
somebody that you used to know.
Yeah, somebody you used to know.
Now you're just somebody that I used to.
Yeah, so she was the last verse on that, and I didn't know nothing about her. Listened to a podcast, and then she was on there. I was like, oh, cool. And then I got a chance to listen to her and hear her story. This chick is from New Zealand. Like she was born and raised in New Zealand, grew up on 90s R&B music, and she actually has a song called 90s R&B. And just to hear her story and hear her passionate about it, it's just the one thing I would say, if people don't take anything from this playlist, don't judge a book by its cover. Just listen to the art and just focus on the music and let the music speak. Because again, it doesn't matter about your race, nationality, sexuality, or whatever. If it sounds good, it sounds good. And with Kimbra, like when I heard that Top of the World, the first time I heard it, I wore it out just like y'all did. And then I messed around, I found that Snoop Dogg version, and then I listened to the album where it came from. I was just like, this chick is so talented. And it just bums me out that, I mean, of course, there's the market is saturated and there's so much music in the world, but I feel like certain artists should, in my opinion, be definitely celebrated and held up to a higher regard compared to some of the artists that are out now that's being pushed to the forefront. And I feel like Kimbra should definitely be one of those.
I love her, just her like her voice, like not like, I don't want to say this because it's weird to say, like the metaphorical texture voice, like not the actual like her singing voice, but like her voice as an artist on this song, I guess. Right, like her perspective that she's taking, like lyrically and everything. I like that a lot. Obviously, she's a great singer, and her actual voice is phenomenal too. But
I'm on top of the world.
Like like that perspective and the confidence. Yeah, that is what I'm referring to.
Yes, absolutely. But yeah, so we talked about that one. Reptilian. I had to get into this one real quick.
This one's one of the ones above that little ending section where I was like, this is weird. And this one's weird in a good way, but it's definitely a little weird.
It's weird, and it's even weirder once you look up the artist. And I didn't know anything about it because that's what my whole diatribe by saying don't judge a book by its cover. Mm-hmm. So I was listening to like a dubstep EDM playlist, and this song came on. And I was like, okay, I'm feeling the vibe. And if anybody knows anything about me, I don't fuck with snakes. I don't like snakes. I hate them. But this beat came out. Move your body like a snake. Move your body like a snake. And then that bass line. I was like, okay, I get that. I'm feeling the vibe of the song. It's cool. So then I'm listening to the song, and then I was like, you know what? I don't know who these people are. Let me look them up.
Never heard of them myself.
Yeah, neither did I.
Yeah. So G Space is the producer, the DJ, and apparently what he does, he's an EDM person, but he also does live instrumentation as well. So he'll be scratching in and making the beat live on stage and have somebody playing the drums or playing guitar, playing live instruments while he's mixing and cutting up stuff. So
that's dope.
So they're he's based out of LA and everything. So that's pretty cool. Odd person, from what I can recognize,
Odd Poison, you mean?
Odd Poison, excuse me. I don't know what she does or did on this song, unless she was just talking on it. But from what I can tell from her Twitter and Instagram, if you subscribe to her, you can get some content from her. I'll put it that way. AKA she on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
So I think that was just her talking in the beginning. So the person that was doing the rapping is, I don't know what their pronouns are. So I'm just going to say, Wreckno. I don't know what their pronouns are.
Let's look it up.
Their pronouns are Wreck
and no.
And no.
Wreck and no. You're right. So when I Googled them and I saw them, I was like, oh, okay.
What?
Well, now I got out of curiosity.
What the? Okay, when you said that, I wasn't putting two together until I Googled Wreckno. And yeah.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. Their pronouns are he, they, and she.
That's an aesthetic choice that they made. I'm gonna stick with they for this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with they because I think that's safe
because if you have he, they, and she, I'm just gonna thread the needle and go with they on that one.
Yeah. So they were the ones that was, I guess, rapping over the track, or talking over the track, move your body like a snake, whatever. And I think Odd Poison was the chick in the beginning that said everybody's a fucking snake or whatever. So I was just like, okay, this is a contrast because if you look up Odd Poison, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Okay, I did like that one.
Yeah, exactly. So, but
again, that was a weird, but like a good weird.
Yeah. And apparently, I just looked up some more information on Wreckno. I guess their version of EDM is oddly hip hop and bass.
I mean, well, here's the thing. I mean, EDM has influence in hip hop. I mean, well, they took hip hop influences into EDM.
Right. Well, see, I thought Wreckno was kind of one of those artists that was actually did more of commercial or pop thing. Mm-hmm. But now reading more into the artist Wreckno, that kind of surprised me that they background in hip hop and bass is kind of cool. So it kind of shows you the versatility. And I guess I never really realized just how much influence hip hop has on the world.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Massive.
Because I would have never known by listening to Wreckno's voice that, the picture of Wreckno and with the image they, or she has was there.
Exactly.
I still would give him marks on the musical content. So
yeah.
Definitely again, don't judge a book by its cover. Just repeat that one more time for the
do not judge a book by its cover, people. Give it a fair chance. It doesn't matter whether you agree with the life choices they make or not. Let the music be the music. Yeah, let the music be the music.
Now, I will say the one song that out of all this whole playlist that I found slightly related, well, mostly relatable, was You Got Jokes by Contrast. I felt that with my spirit.
That is so you.
It's true though. It's so true. It's to be like you've been locked down for over a decade and a half. Us single people out here, and Brandon Lee can talk about it. I mean, sometimes it's tough.
It's rough.
It's so tough out here.
It's real rough. Yeah.
And you got these girls that just want to be playing games with guys' hearts and stuff. I'm like, yo, got to do better.
Yeah, dating in the 2020s is just such a crap show. It's so bad.
It's so bad. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed that one. All right. And finally, I want to talk about the last two songs. Those were my absolutes that I had to have on here. And I just had to figure out a way to put them on here. And I was like, okay, I had to find a way to get them on there. Obviously, I know Kenny Boy knows about Bobby Womack. Brandon, you know about Bobby Womack?
Vaguely.
Okay.
I know the name, but that's
okay. So
probably
he was a veteran singer as well. His claim to fame, I believe, was Harry Hippie and another song from back in the 60s or whatever. So he's been in the game for a long time. This song was from, I want to say either the last album or maybe second to last album. But I feel like this might have been his last album he did before he passed. You should remember Fatima, because she was featured on a playlist beforehand. She did the song with Lauryn Hill on the songs that meant a lot to us on that soundtrack.
I can't think of the song, but I know the song you're talking about.
Yes. So this song is trippy to me because correct me if I get my facts wrong, audience, but I believe this song was produced by Dave Byrne from the Gorillaz. And they were like he signed to the Gorillaz because around that time he was working with the Gorillaz on like Plastic Beach around that time. So he ended up doing a whole album with them, and that's why it kind of has that weird like piano, but also like weird drum pattern sound effects or whatever. So he had that whole sound with that, and then having Fatima on top of that beat, that's something that the Gorillaz was singing on. I thought that was pretty dope.
I loved her part of the song. I think I loved her part in that Lauryn Hill song you're talking about as well. So I did recognize the name, and I had trouble remembering until you just said it. But I knew she had featured on some song on a playlist or episode before, but I couldn't remember what it was. But yeah,
yeah, it was way early on. So
that was a while back. But I dug that song and her part in particular a lot on that one.
What do you think about that one, Kitty Boy?
Coming into it, I gotta say I didn't give it a fair chance the first time I listened to it. I had to listen to it a couple of times. I like the song. I really do. It took me a while to grow on me, but a lot of what you guys say, I second that motion on it. I'm glad I heard that song. It really kind of opened my mind up a little more.
Yeah, because I believe Bobby Womack was like in his late 70s, early 80s, whatever, when he recorded that song. Like he was old as fuck when he recorded that song. So if I'm not mistaken, I can look that up and somebody can fact check me on that. So just for him to be as old as he was to still be doing music and to release this new song with their newer song, because he was in London around that time. So, that was a whole thing. And then Hellbent, I had to finish on that one because to me, Kina was an artist that I felt.
Was it Kina?
Yeah.
I've been saying that wrong the whole time.
I thought it was Kina.
Yeah,
okay.
Me too.
I mean, maybe I've been calling him Kina because I had an ex name that name. So I guess Kina, whatever. But this guy is from Ethiopia, if I'm not mistaken. So he's from Ethiopia, and the production on this song was done by
Timbaland.
No,
I'm joking.
But close though. Close. One half of the Neptunes. So the Neptunes was Pharrell Williams and Chad Hugo. This was Chad Hugo's project. So Chad was working with Kina on this album, New Scarecrow, I believe, around that time, and he was one of the other artists signed to Star Trek Records back in the day, before the Neptunes had beef and fighting over stuff now. So
that's another weird one. Again, I keep saying it, but that last little section is like they're all weird, but like in different kind of unique ways. Like I like how you said weird and passionate, and that definitely comes out. I feel like on this one, it's a little bit different of a vibe than like I feel like the songs that are coming right before it. But I thought it was a solid choice to like end the playlist to kind of bring it back down, bring everything together. Still weird, but like in a good way.
Yeah. Agreed. I believe that was I think that was the best song to end it, because the way it kind of comes in, it's a slow build up almost, and then it just kind of hits you. It definitely was to me, I think that would be I would consider the weirdest of all the songs to me, because of the instruments, the way the instruments they used. because it had a weird noise. Because to me, that the chords they use coming up in it is kind of annoying. That it's smooth, but it's annoying.
Yeah.
Right. But then when he starts singing, he's and everything like that. It's okay. And considering I'm not as open to music as Terrio is, it's amazing that I was actually able to listen to that song a couple of times. So the song is not a terrible song, but I thought it, being honest with you, after listening to that song, it really made me think that you really put that in order on purpose.
I did.
Like you put that list together on purpose. Mm-hmm. And it really, if that put that song anywhere else in the playlist, I would have trashed it from Kingdom to Come.
It needed to be at the end. I do agree with that.
I think, because by that time, your mind is so open and you heard so many different styles, right?
You've been thoroughly weirded out at that
point. You're so open at that point. Now you can really see the quality in the brilliance of that song. Because I thought it was just brilliant. It's like they really did take the time and to put something together there. To me, you can't match that up to anything on albums or any other albums or anything like that. They really try to do their own thing and distinctive sound, flow, everything. And I think it being at the end of the playlist really allowed that song to shine. Because it really set itself, that song itself to me was the only song that really set itself aside throughout the playlist. Like you you just know that song.
Yeah.
And it was a great song. To me, it was a great song to end which honestly I had to, from the deepest part of my soul, I hate saying this, from an excellent playlist. Ugh.
Yes.
Yeah. I do largely agree with pretty much all of you just said, Kenny Boy. There's one more song I want to talk about, and I love the irony of this because we just got done talking about the last song on the playlist. I want to go back to the very first song on the playlist and just talk about how, because we just talked about how...
No, Weird by
Weird by...
Oh, okay, sorry, I skipped you up. My bad.
Yeah. Weird by KAYTRANADA featuring Durand, Bernarr, just because, we kind of just touched on how the final song on the playlist, how weird it was and how well it fit the theme. I just want to briefly give a shout out to one, just how awesome. Again, those first 8 to 10 songs are like probably my favorite part of the playlist, but it sets the tone for the whole rest of the playlist so well, having that song start out. And the whole, because, coming into the initial listen to this playlist, right? All I knew going into it, kind of like Kenny Boy kind of alluded to this earlier, all we knew going into it was this is a bunch of weird songs by Terrio. Mm-hmm. Me and Kenny Boy even more than me, but we've both known Terrio for some time now. That is, you just hear that by itself on paper without any other context. That's definitely a reason to be raising your eyebrows and being like, oh boy, what am I about to get into? All that being said, this was definitely a journey, I would say, this playlist. I think coming in with certain expectations, oddly enough, kind of helped a little bit. Just because I came in with weird expectations and it didn't necessarily like exceed or not exceed the expectations. It just went kind of in a different direction altogether for the most part.
Okay.
In a good way.
Okay. I was like, I think that's a compliment.
In a good way, because like what I was expecting was, again, like I guess my barometer for what's weird in music is just like so non-existent that I was really expecting to be like really weirded out the entire playlist. And I came away from this like for the most part very much enjoying it and all the songs on it.
Well said.
Starting the whole playlist with Weird by KAYTRANADA just really helped set that tone and helped kind of mentally prepare me that, okay, it's going to be weird, but like, if it's going to be weird like this, I'm here for it. And not, I can unclench a little bit, I don't have to be nervous about what's about to play in my ear holes. So,
I want to expound on that a little more.
Please.
Too. I agree with you, because when he told me that it's going to be a weird playlist, I truly was scared.
Yeah, same a little bit.
Scared, because knowing him and the stuff he done, I expected to hear a cow with a assault rifle shoot down a bunch of children in a school, and it'd be a love song. You know what I'm saying? I fully expected some crazy stuff. But again, the first song really did set the scene and set the tone for what we're going to listen to for the rest of the playlist. Because even though the first one was definitely opened up the doors to weird, but it definitely went a different direction of weird that I didn't think we were going there.
Yep.
Because it went weird in a way where it was almost welcoming.
It's embracing the weirdness. Yes. It's not being weird to jar you and make you uncomfortable. It's being weird in the sake of pushing boundaries, trying something new, being creative as an artist.
Yes.
And that's, I think all of us anytime you see that in any type of way, us three in particular, I think we really love that. It seems like.
Yeah, I think and I will go on the line and say this. It's almost like Terrio purposely created a playlist to actually make everybody rethink what they consider weird. Because notice how the theme I kept saying was creative instead of weird. And being that if that was considered weird, how many artists, groups that we really didn't give a chance to because they were so creative and so ahead of their game that we considered it weird and we just threw it threw it to the left where all the weird people be at. But if you actually took the time to listen to it, you can actually see the genius, the creativity, the talent. Like, you can't be talentless and do that style of music. So everything to me is so genuine and so well done. It's like a mixtape I made a long time ago, The Test of Time. I think those songs, even though they may not be a crowd popular or a big popular song compared to classic songs, I think those songs will age very well. I think 20 years from now, if we come back and revisit this playlist, I think we'll have the same reaction and almost the same feeling we had listened to it now and 20 years from now, because that's not commercialized. You can't reduplicate a lot of that stuff.
I mean, and to speak on that, some of these songs on this playlist are in fact 20 years old.
I was about to say, Can't Help It came out in like 2003 or something, I think. I was looking at some of the like release dates for some of these songs earlier today.
Yeah. So
some of them are from the 90s or like early 2000s. So yeah, some of them are already a couple decades old. And they're, like you just said, Kenny Boy, we're listening to them here in, 2025 and they're still hitting well, and they're still weirding us out in whatever way that is. So
yes, absolutely. Okay, well, I think that's a good place to leave it. There's a couple outliers. If y'all want to mention anything on Mayday, Fiesta, Fever.
That's another one I love.
Yeah, I just like that one personally because of AWOLNATION, because like AWOLNATION blew up based on the song Sail, which was kind of slow.
Fiesta fever running through my veins.
But like I just like the beginning of the song. Again, this is where like the whole blending of just weird combinations. He's like, all I want to do is play rock and roll at a disco party. I'm just like, hell yeah, like why not? So like that's
that is something vibe. You would do, isn't it?
100%. You already know. It was like, okay, this is disco. Okay, I'm gonna rock out. And then Big Beast with Killer Mike. I have to give Killer Mike, some love.
Yeah, always.
So that
Killer
was
Mike kills it on that one.
Killed it. Bun B.
All of them kill it. Bun B, T.I., Trouble and Trouble. They all perform well on that song.
Yeah. So and then Baby No Money. Any thoughts on that one? On 2? Right, left.
He's I don't know if he's divisive or not. I feel like people hear him and like have very like intense feelings towards him. And my limited experience of like playing him and like introducing him to other people, some people are just like, ew, no, stop. What is that? I've pretty much enjoyed. I'm not like a huge mega fan of his, but this is another song that I'm like, okay, Baby No Money, I like it. His whole vibe is weird, but like in like a good, creative, positive way. I feel like.
It's kind of one of those artists for me. It's something you have to kind of keep checking more and more of his work out. I think for me, it's like listening to that one. Like I never heard of Baby No Money or whatever his name is. Never heard of him until then. But then I'm like, okay. To me, it's like when I first started, it's like, I don't know about it. But then I gave it another listen again, and I was like, okay, maybe we're working with something. So I had to check out some more of his work, and I haven't got a chance to really get deep in his work. But I'm like, I think he may be somebody I actually may put in rotation.
Interesting.
But I want to check him. I want to, check because I want to check out more of his work.
His whole vibe, just career-wise, as long as I've known him as an artist, at least, has kind of been embodying what this whole playlist is, what we've been talking about, just being creative and kind of pushing that envelope and being weird in the sense of like trying new things that aren't necessarily the standard song layout plan, whatever you want to call it, blueprint.
Yes.
He's trying new stuff, whether that's vocally or production wise. Most of the songs I've heard by him have just like weird little touches like that. So he definitely deserves a spot on the playlist. I didn't necessarily, I didn't blink twice seeing him on here or listening to by him on here. Very fitting, I felt.
Right. See, and what another thing I like to say about him, the reason why that he reminds me of a lot of like what I try to do with my blends, which you can check it out on Reverb Nation. Just look up DJ Kenny Boy, check it out.
Hey, Brandon, cut that out. Go ahead.
Anyway, hater. When I try to do my blends, when I take two songs, I don't always go for what I know that's going to sell or what's going to get people to see. I want to actually put something in there and almost create a whole new flavor or new flow to it. And I think he reminds me a lot of what I'm trying to do as a DJ and what I am doing as a DJ as well. So I was like, I can feel where he's coming from. So that's why I want to really, check some more of his work. And hey, if he's good, you might check on my Facebook page or Reverb Nation to see a blend from me with one of his records.
Okay. So, but anyway, this was weird and fun. Thank you for enduring my weird / creative playlist. It was fun making it. I wanted to put a crap ton more songs on there, but obviously, 29 tracks is enough for anybody to listen to.
It's a lot.
In one session, definitely a lot. Regardless of like how short or how long the songs may be, it's still, a lot. But at the end of the day, everything ain't for everybody. And and just, enjoy what you like and love what you love and do you. And if I put it this way, if you're doing something legally that's, considered weird, okay. What's weird to some, maybe normal to others. So just, do you and enjoy what you like.
Yes, sir.
All right. And I want to actually issue a challenge out to Terrio on this one. And we asked all the fans who listen to this radio station.
Bruh.
Or
how
podcast.
Old are you? Call in to KAFterPlaylist.com.
Yes. Well, I actually want to challenge fans. With this playlist being what it is, I think we should go deeper in the rabbit hole. So my challenge has been issued to Terrio to take us down that rabbit hole. I want you to find 12 to 15. We'll keep it simple because we're about to go down a path of no return. Songs make us question our sanity.
Okay.
But good. I'm talking about question your sanity, but has a good, that's actually pretty dope that really catches you off guard.
Okay.
So what I want to do is put something out there for the lovers of music to really open their minds up to different styles. It's clear as the day that between us three, you have the wildest range of music between us. I think you would be the great leader to take us down that rabbit hole. Because here's the thing is, I want to come out that playlist with my mind blown, but a potential fan of a bunch of new artists.
Okay. So what you're saying is I didn't go weird enough. I need to go even weirder.
Yes. Okay. I want to go weirder because I think to truly grow, we have to come out of our comfort zone, right? We have to be comfortable of being uncomfortable, right? Make us uncomfortable with the next 12 to 15, the next time we do this playlist.
Okay.
I was a little hesitant whenever he started that, but I kind of agree.
He started making people uncomfortable. I was looking at Brandon. I was just like, oh, wow, this man is about to spontaneously combust.
I would like to see if you can if you made it a point to really try and weird us out.
Mm-hmm.
could you think you could make a playlist that would like actually like weird us out?
Oh,
but like in a good way.
Well, okay, so it's the first half of it. I can make a playlist that can weird y'all out in a good way. That's subjective. So I don't know if it will be. It'll be interesting.
See, that's my issue when it comes to like, again, just going back to like me not fully understanding what makes a song weird. It's like most songs that I thought of trying to think of like songs that I would classify as weird would just be like a cringe playlist 2.0. Like they're weird, but it's like weird in a way that like you don't want to listen to it anymore.
No. That's different. That cringe playlist is awful. Like, I'm gonna issue the listeners a challenge. You put on that playlist and you tell me if you don't jump off a bridge, like after listening to it. It's crazy. But yeah, I do feel like I can scrape my archives and find some weird stuff. But I'm also having the same problem that you're having, Brandon. What's weird to me, it feels normal. So I had to kind of really retrain my brain to think like,
how it's easier said than done.
Yeah. So it's going to be some work put into it. Because again, my rule of thumb is if it sounds good to me, it sounds good to me. Whether or not is who, what they look like, what they stand for. Okay, whatever. It sounds good.
Just make your selections based off of that.
Yeah, definitely.
Because again, the whole purpose of my challenge is I want to take that step there that nobody else would take. Okay. Because I think by taking that, which I've learned by actually listening to you guys and actually doing these podcasts with you, if I didn't listen to that, a lot of these artists I would have never heard of or listening to because I was just not that direction in music. First, my style of music is, old school hip hop, R&B. That's typically what my go-to. Blues, jazz. Those are my go-tos. But I do have classic rock. I have country people I love listening to. Some crazy stuff here and there. Yes. But because I've been doing this, I've realized that there's so much more to music and so much more to out there in the world to listen to. I've been missing out. So these things always help me open my mind up more and question my own humanity. Mm-hmm. And plus, I want to actually question my friendship with Terrio a lot more with the songs he selects. And I don't think he really put a song there that made me question him yet. And I felt kind of, disappointed because I figured he was going to get me with at least one song.
Well, I did technically with what's the name?
I mean, the Teen Titans Go came up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But that brought me back to your mixtape days. You know what I'm saying?
Fair
so
enough.
You haven't really challenged me like you typically do and hit me with a crazy one. Okay. But you did give me a very enjoyable playlist. This is actually something I would say that I'm gonna ask Brandon Lee this. Would you listen to this playlist again?
Not only would I will.
Nice.
I agree. I will actually listen to this playlist again. I think the playlist, honestly, I would give the playlist 5 out of 5 stars.
Oh, well, now maybe not every single song on the playlist would I want to listen to again right now. There's a couple of them that kind of got wore out the past couple of weeks. But by and large, I'll definitely throw this playlist up again. And if you want to keep being weird with us, you can go back and check out our other episodes or like and subscribe to catch our future episodes. We love to talk about music, as always. You can go to afterplaylist.com for our social media links, previous episodes, and previous music playlists. Like and share this episode and music playlists. It's totally free to do that, and it helps support the show. It's the best, easiest, quickest way to do so. And if you want to do a little bit more, you can consider joining our Patreon at patreon.com/afterplaylist. Every little bit helps. And thank you again for coming out and getting weird with us today. Until next time, keep on listening.
Keep on listening.
Yes, sir.
Bye.
Bye.
Black Giraffe made this.